Hello, and welcome back to Song Surveys on Sofas with Superheroes, the sub-series. So last week we did a new song, so this week we're going to go old school. And I'm actually really excited that I'm doing this song this particular week because right now I'm in Japan. And this particular song is the reason that I've been to London. The band that sings this song was breaking up and they were playing 5 final shows, and so they're from London, so they played in London, and yeah, it was awesome. I was like, I am seeing this song live because I love it so much, and that's just kind of what happened. So anyway, the song is Precious Time by the Maccabees, and yeah, so let's get into it. So this song is like a roller coaster instrumentally. So many changes, so many shifts, so many build-ups, drops, just really interesting. So I am going to talk a lot about how the fact that the music changes, and a lot of the times the music is the same from one part to the next part. So, the first part of the first verse, the second part of the first verse, to the first part of the second verse, the second part of the second verse. Tends to have the same music, but we'll talk about that as we go. So anyway, it starts with just the drums, and then the guitar comes in, and the music builds, like just a little bit, and then it drops before the lyrics start, and the music kind of remains like simpler and for at least a little bit. And so again, I broke the verses into 2 parts. I broke the pre-chorus into 2 parts, and then the chorus is just the chorus. So what I love is the very first line in the first part of the verse. I think it's super clever. So it's pound for pound and cheek to cheek. So pound for pound, which I totally had to Google, is a boxing term, right? It's like a ranking system for like who's going to compete against who. So pound for pound, and then cheek to cheek is like being close to somebody, and it usually is like your faces are close and it's intimate. So I just really love the contrast of those 2 things. Right, so we're going like pound for pound, we're like going at it, but we're also cheek to cheek, right? So we like are fighting, but we like love each other. So I thought that was a really clever way to kind of introduce the entire theme of the song. So after the first 2 lines of that first verse, there's this really catchy cymbal that's added in, and I love it for the next 2 lines. And then the music changes again for the second part of the first verse. And I like totally love this part. I think it is fantastic, and I love it. So turn this darkness, right? And that word is like held when it's saying, and it's so good. So turn this darkness into light, and I'll turn to bright. I could not handle how much I love the idea of you think you're doing this great thing by turning darkness into light, but then he's saying and I'll turn too bright, I'll go over too far. And I do think that happens a lot in terms of just you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to make this bad situation into a good situation. And, you almost overcompensate, and that can cause additional problems and be different. So I think that's a really interesting concept. And again, it's it just makes me so think what does that mean? And what does that look like? When in my life have I done that? And what does that look like in terms of this, right? You're taking this darkness, turning it into light. And then this person is being too bright. Especially if the song is about a relationship, I don't know, it's just interesting. I really like that. I really think it was, excellent lyrically, really cool. Then the music drops to only guitar. And again, what I'm calling the first pre-chorus starts, and it's 2 lines. And I'll need heart and you'll need courage. We all need. And then they stop singing it for that first time they introduce that pre-chorus, but the word after that is time, right? So the real line is, and I'll need heart and you'll need courage. We all need time. But the first time they sing it, they leave off the word time, which again, already I love because I know now it's going to be different next time because they forgot a word. So again, really great choice. So then the percussion comes back in and the music changes for the second verse. And basically the whole first part of this verse is just so phenomenal lyrically. I love every line. It is so good. So it starts with toe to toe, nowhere to go. So I'm tiptoeing around it. And I love that it, one, totally fits the theme, right? Body parts, cheek to cheek, toe to toe. I think that was fantastic. Really good choice. And also I just like love the idea of it, right? So you're toe to toe, you're fighting, you're in this tense fighting moment, nowhere to go, so you can't escape it. So I'm tiptoeing around it. So he's like being like cautious around like what he's saying and stuff. So I don't know, I just like really love how that concept was put into words, right? And I think it was clever, obviously toe to toe, and you have tiptoeing. So yeah, just the use of words and the way that they were used and the message that it so easily conveys was so smart. Like, love the lyrics in this song, it's so good. But that part in particular I think was really clever. Really love those lines. And then right after that, it's, I held you down and I held my own, and now I feel like I'm floating. So these lines are actually kind of like heartbreaking a little bit, because so the singer is not keeping this person happy, and in doing so is now not making himself happy. And so if you're assuming that now means a relationship change, then that means that, like, yeah, this person is happier without this other person, and it's sad. Like, why do we do that to ourselves? We just like hold on and are miserable, and then we like break up or change the relationship, and it's like, oh, like, yes, I'm sad and I still care about this person, but damn, this was so much better. Like, I don't know, just, it's sad. Like, the lyrics are sad. And again, like, so I held you down and I held my own. Like, I love the idea of, like, so in this singer's mind, what does that look like? Like, like, held my own. So I don't know, like, I'm thinking of something that would float, like a balloon maybe, like I held my own, like, string down. I don't know, like, I just love that line. Like, I think it's just, again, like a subtle thing that if you're not really paying attention to it, you're just like, oh, okay, whatever. But if you're really thinking about, like, okay, so I held you down and I held my own, like, or is he saying, like, I held you down and I held my own in terms of, like, I held myself together. Like, I don't know. It's an interesting lyric. I personally don't think it's that I held myself together. I think it's that you're, like, literally holding something down. So yeah, I don't know. I really love those lyrics though. I really love that whole first part of that second verse. All right, so then the music changes for the second part of the second verse. Again, lots of like build-ups and dips and drops. And they repeat the word turn from the previous second part of the first verse. And but this time they have different words that come after it. And I really, again, think it's great. And then one of the lines is, and keep on, and then keeping on is like after that, but and keep on, the way they sing on, whew, it is so good. And I know it's just one word, but it is just so dynamic. It like just changes so much, and it's like held and it goes up and then down, and it just, so good. I love that word. Like, again, it's just one silly word in the third line of the second part of the second chorus or verse, but it's so good. It's so good. All right, so then the music drops to just that guitar again, and the pre-chorus from part one is repeated, but this time with the word time at the end, like I was saying before. And then what I'm calling the second pre-chorus starts after a music change. So again, this, like, the music changes just happen so often, and it's just so fantastic. And so the second part of the pre-chorus is the line, let's make time work for us, and it's repeated 4 times. And so after the after the second repetition, the music starts to build, right? So even in this like second pre-chorus part, you have the same line repeated twice, and then the same line repeated again twice, but this time the music is building as you're getting into those last 2 repetitions, and then it drops for the chorus. So this time it drops, and the drumsticks are hitting, right? And there's like spurts of guitar, and then the chorus. So the chorus does come after that second part of the pre-chorus. And so the chorus is, let's take our precious time about it. And it's repeated 4 times. And again, at the end of the third repetition, the music builds and then drops for the beginning of the third verse. So there's lots of, like I said before, lots of roller coastery moments for the music, the instrumental part of this song. So this verse, this third verse, is one of my all-time favorite verses, like has one of my all-time favorite lines, and definitely my all-time misquoted lyrics. Like I love this line so much. This is the reason I flew to London because I wanted to see this lyric so badly, and it was just, anyway. So the line that I originally thought it was, you hold yourself up and you hold yourself in and you pray that you won't wane. And I just like loved it, right? Like you're trying to like hold yourself together and you're just praying like, please don't falter, please don't falter, please don't falter. And I just, the image of that and like the idea of that and just like, I love it. However, that is not the line. The line is you hold yourself up and you hold yourself in and you pray that you're growing. So yeah, it's great. The growing part, like it is an interesting concept, right? Like by not showing emotion, you're somehow a better person or bettering yourself as a person, or even like growing like in terms of like adults, like you're being more adult by not getting upset with things. Like, I don't know, it is an interesting concept, but I do really wish it was won't wane. I think that would have just been like you're just like in that moment, right? You're praying like, please don't show my emotion. Don't, ruin my mask. Like, I don't know. Anyway, great lyric. Definitely still misquote it. Even though I know that it's wrong, but yeah. So no, I love that line. And again, it encouraged me to take this amazing trip. And so this is why I love this song, and I'm super glad that I get to share it with you. Okay, so yeah. So then the music changes again for the second part of the third verse, and that is just a repetition of the second part of the first verse, pretty much like exactly on key. And then the music changes and goes into the first pre-chorus, followed by the same music change for the second pre-chorus. And then the same music builds and changes right into the chorus. But this time, the chorus is a little bit different. So again, the chorus is literally one line just repeated 4 times, but this time it's repeated 6. And on the 5th repetition, the music becomes really full, and the background singers that are like pretty much consistently singing with the lead singer for the whole rest of the chorus, they like are more in the foreground, while the lead singer is like just has this like raw, like desperate sound, and they kind of like in terms of wording get off from each other, and it's just such a good subtle thing. Like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's good. It's really good touch. And again, if you're not really listening to it, you kind of almost don't even realize it, but when you like really listen to it and you can hear like the strain in his voice, it makes it really good. And again, I really don't love a lot of repetition in a song, so the fact that 2 parts are just one line that's repeated 4 times, and then this is repeated 6 times. So to make it different enough that I still enjoy it, that's really awesome. So that was a really great thing. I really love that about this song. And then after that, there's this instrumental part for about 30 seconds, and it's fantastic. It starts with this full sound that you've now just come off of this second part of the chorus to. And then it kind of fades, and then it comes and builds back. And I think for this song in particular, it is a fantastic choice to have just a moment of instrumental, because the music does change so often. So it really gives the listener a chance to appreciate all of the changes and just the complexity of the music. So yeah, really love that instrumental part. Thought it was really good. And then it fades into just the guitar and a repetition of the pre-chorus with a little bit of a twist. So instead of saying, we all need time, it's changed to in these times. So after that repeats twice. And so, yeah, I love that change, right? So now we're getting into like those changes of lyrics and again, we're towards the end of the song. And so, it makes it more story, right? Like we've said this pre-chorus a couple times in the same way, and now we've kind of played out this story, so they changed it, and I really love that. And then like they just boom, like slam you with these 2 new totally like different lyrics. And again, the music at this point is very simple, and you just get this like sad feeling. So so then you just get this feeling in terms of the lyrics, and I'll talk about what the music does after. So the lyric is, "'Cause time can mean so much, are you still mine?" And right after mine, this like kind of upward note is played, and it's like almost like dreamy, like, are you still mine? And it's like, I don't know, it's just this, again, like that first line, right? That contradiction, pound to pound, pound for pound, cheek to cheek, like, yeah, it's like, are you still mine? Like, that's a sad question, but then you kind of get this like happy thing. But what I really do love about this, right, because time can mean so much, and I think that line is awesome because it's so dynamic, right? So it's either hopeful, right? Like, oh, time like it can mean so much, like that's all we need, right? Like, let's take our precious time, take our time with it, like, or it can be a fearful thing, like, yeah, man, like time can mean like, oh God, time can mean so much. Like, what if it's too much time? Like, what if this time, yeah, like, I just love it. I think it's great. The just total like ambiguity of the meaning behind that line, and it's right at the end, and then you just get this like sucker punch of a question, are you still mine? You're like, wait a minute, oh my God, this song is like really like about this relationship that's clearly not going well, and to a point where this singer doesn't even know if it's still going on. Like, I don't know, I just love this song so much. And then so after that line, again, that like you get that upward note and then the music fades. But yeah, so I really love this song. I love this band. I so wish that they were still making music. But please let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.